It's your boy Mike Massive, and you are now rocking with Ridin Durty Radio. Let's go!
And just like that, once again, it's on What's Up World. It's your boy Vic XL. This is the Ridin Durty Radio Show coming to you live via blogtalkradio.com. And I got to start the show off, and always can never do an episode of the Ridin Durty Radio Show without showing my gratitude and appreciation for WRFG 89.3 FM. The FM radio home of the Ridin Durty Radio Show, man. If it wasn't for WRFG, I wouldn't be able to sit here in front of you guys right now and do what I do. So 15 years ago, they gave me a chance to be on the FM airways. And since that time, I've had numerous of wonderful interviews and met thousands and thousands of great people in this business, whether it's entrepreneurs, poets, actors, doctors, I've met some wonderful people. So always thanks and gratitude to WRFG 89.3 FM. Also, thank you to Blog Talk Radio, who opened their doors and gave me a platform in 2009. So I've been able to do my thing through Blog Talk since 2009. And lastly, man, thank you to Facebook Live to actually create the live option to where I can now come to you guys like the way I am. And I'm seeing people or slowly but surely tuning in, man. So I appreciate y'all for giving me your time of day. I know I only come to you 30 minutes a couple times a week, but you know, you watching me and listening to me is giving other people a chance to be heard, and that's what it's all about. All right, man, before I start this show, because today I'm talking to somebody very interesting, because you know, when I do these interviews, it's not just about the music. It's about letting people talk about what they do. So that's what I'm here for. But before I do that, man, first I don't have a lot of celebrity birthdays. Today is Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors. Today is his 29th birthday. I actually thought Steph was a little older than that, but I guess he's not. But I thought Steph was older, so you know, happy birthday, Steph. Keep raining those threes. Keep doing your thing. Also, my man Too Much. My man, it's his birthday. He's actually I'm saying his name wrong, but I'm gonna get his name right. And he's a close partner of mine. But he's one of the last storytellers in Atlanta, man. He's like a Slick Rick type rapper. Definitely doing his thing out the ATL. Today is his birthday also. Alright. One time my man DJ Pooh on the check-in, as always. Love that dude. Pooh, I know I was supposed to hit you yesterday. I'm finna hit you when I finish the show today. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please support my sponsors. One time for Dr. Juice Cleanse. That's right, Dr. Juice Cleanse is an all-natural cleanser that promises to help you lose 25 pounds in just 10 days. Alright? Visit drjuicecleanse.com and get started today losing that weight. It'll be summertime before you know it, and everybody want to be bikini fine for the summertime. One time my man Cortez Morris on the check-in. Also, make sure all you sneakerheads, there's a brand new box subscription service called sneakerbox.com. If you are a sneakerhead and desire to know more about sneakers or receive free products or just free goodies, that pertain to being a sneakerhead and the sneaker culture, make sure you go over to sneakerbox.com, sign up for your subscription today, and in the checkout box, type in the promo code VICXL and receive a 10% discount for lifetime. That's right, for lifetime, damn it. Also, if you got a website, if you're an artist out there and you're coming out with a new project, or if you just need a dope family photo shoot, make sure you try New Star Studios. That's right, New Star Studios. My man Terrence over there, he's right now working on RidinDurtyRadio.com, which will be making a comeback real soon. He does the dope photo shoots, and my man does some of the best graphic artwork I've ever seen. So man, y'all make sure y'all holler at him. What's up, my man, homeboy? That's my brother for life. All right, get this thing started, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls on the line right now. I have the first ever that I've had a chance to talk to, but the first thing I gotta ask him is how to pronounce this word. So we have author and meme creator Tank Sinatra on the line. How you doing, sir?
You got it. You got it.
Okay, my first question.
What were you trying to pronounce? Meme?
Is it
meme? What were you trying to pronounce right?
Yes. Is it meme?
Meme. You got it. First try. Yep. It's not Mimi. It's not Meme. It's not Mem. It's not French. It's just meme. You got it.
All right, because so many people call it Mimi.
It's about 70% pronounced incorrectly, so you're in that top percentile.
All right, I gotta ask you a question. Even though the fact is spelled me, why do people call it Mimi?
It's a confusing word. It's M-E-M-E. So, I don't know. People call it Meme. They put an accent on it, and they say mem as if there's one of those French triangle things above the E. So they say, well, people are. They say whatever they want. They pronounce things however they want. And as far as I know, this guy Rick Dawkins created the word, and he says it's meme. So that's what I run with. That's what I go with.
All right, let's talk about Mr. Tank Sinatra. And or would you rather go by your name, George Resch?
Wow, you did that one too. You're like a savant with pronunciations, because Resch is mispronounced 99% of the time.
So tell the world a little bit about yourself. You born in Long Island, and let's go from there.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Long Island. I'm Irish. I have that Catholic gene, but I'm German, so I have that strong, serious gene too. And my love affair with comedy goes way back to since I can remember, 4 or 5 years old. I either liked laughing, and then as I got older and I learned how to put jokes together, not like in a serious format, but I learned how to deliver a punchline. Loving people laugh has been something that I've loved since like before I can remember. I love music, and I love making people laugh. I love music and comedy, and that's it. That's what I stick with.
At what point in your life?
And I'm just.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vic.
I'm sorry to interrupt. At what point did you realize that you had a love for comedy and music? Because the funny thing to me, those are two things I love so much, and they go hand in hand. So at what point did you realize you love both?
It was around the same time, probably 6 or 7 years old. The first song that I ever really fell in love with and learned every word and every chord to was Def Leppard's "Pour Some Sugar on Me." And it's funny because it was a combo, so I used to say some of the words wrong, but I was sick, so they gave me a pass, my cousins and family. And it was like I would sing the words, and then I would make people laugh too, because I was pronouncing the words wrong, but in like a cute kid kind of way. So I was killing two birds with one stone. So it was around that time, and my dad and mom are very funny too. So they were always making us laugh. And my sisters are funny. So I've been surrounded by that for a long time. And music, I don't remember when I got headstrong into the music. Like I decided that it was going to be one of my main things. I can't play an instrument, so it's not like I'm a musician, but I just love the fact that music, the notes of the music transcend any kind of language. You don't need to speak English. You don't need to speak Swahili, German, whatever. You speak any language you speak, you hear music because you have ears and it's vibrations. So it transcends any kind of cultural boundaries as long as you're open to whatever kind of music you listen to. And I love that. I love that it connects people, music.
All right. I also noticed that while you were in college, you done some internship in the A&R department while Jay-Z was president of Def Jam.
Oh yeah, that was like a top moment in my life. So Jay-Z, I'm a huge fan of. I know it sounds, a little strange, but he has had a tremendous impact on my life just through listening to his music. He kind of helped me find my ambition. He helped me find my hustle just by talking about it so much. And it just happened to be that I was looking for an internship around the time that he was, appointed president, and it just occurred to me because I knew a girl whose sister worked at Def Jam, so I reached out to the girl and I said, "Can you put me in touch with your sister?" And I got in touch with the sister, and I didn't say, "Hey, I know Jay-Z's president, so I needed an internship." I would have worked at Def Jam whether he was president or not, but the fact that he was there, and I used to, you roll up to the office and the Maybach is parked outside, right in front of the building, just right, not even in a parking lot, just right on the sidewalk. I would see that and I'd go, "Oh, today's going to be cool." And he'd be in there listening to records with LL Cool J and Method Man, and it was around the time Chris Brown and Rihanna came out, and the Diplomats were doing their thing, and Joel Santana was kind of doing his solo thing, and Kanye West had just dropped College Dropout the second week I was there. So there was a lot of energy going through that building that I got to be a part of. It was a very special time for me.
All right. Do you have any fond memories of any personal memories of any artists you guys spend any time with?
Well, so I worked in the A&R department, so a lot of my time was spent delivering CDs that were mixed very specifically. So they'd take a Mariah Carey song and turn the bass up a notch and then turn the vocals down a notch, and then they would try all these different mixes. And I remember going down to Jay-Z's office. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't Jay-Z's office. It was somebody else's office. But Jay-Z, Ty, who's Jay-Z's friend, and LL Cool J were sitting in an office listening to LL's new record, bopping their heads, and I went in and handed Ty the mix that I had, and I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe that. It was just two legendary people sitting in there listening to an album, deciding whether or not it was good. You know what I mean? You got Jay-Z and LL, how does it sound? As if LL needs somebody to tell him that he sounds good. The guy, was at the peak of rap. You know what I mean? That was a cool moment.
That's a dope moment. So tell me, at what point in time or what changed your life? Because you want to do stand-up comedy. I also see you had some bouts with heavy drinking while you were in college. You're this intern at Def Jam, and what changed your life that you realized that there was a niche for you, and it was memes?
So around 10, I stopped drinking. I was 22, so that was in 2002. So I stopped drinking then. I did stand-up comedy when I was 23 into 24, so it was about a year. And I think about doing it sometimes, but I really didn't like it. Fact that I had to say jokes over and over and over again. And then on top of that, you'd have a joke that was really good, or you thought was really good, and you'd have to sit on it for a week or a month, until the next time you could get to a microphone. So I didn't like the fact that the energy died for the humor, because for me, humor is mainly about wit. I like quick wit. I like fast, sharp delivery. So it was around 2010 or 11, maybe even a little sooner, that I started seeing these memes with pictures and words across the top and words across the bottom. It was like this website called Reddit and Quick Meme were really at the forefront of those. So it was different back then because you'd have one picture and you'd have 3,000 different versions of the memes. But I used to just look at them and I'd scroll through, and sometimes I would just get on a roll and I would just die laughing. I'd be in bed, laying next to my wife, and I'd wake her up laughing. So I said, these are interesting because there's no delivery and there's no tone and there's no timing. It's just either it's funny or it's not. And I'm the one who decides whether or not it's funny, not the person who made the meme. So because I'm reading it on my own time, maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year after the meme was made, I liked that I could look at them on my time. You know what I mean? And I could find them at my own pace. I didn't need to be a part of a conversation to get the joke. I could kind of tune in after and see what memes people had made from months ago. So then they changed form. You know, they went from that form to the Twitter, which is where we're at now. I'm excited to go from here. But I just like the fact that they're either funny or they're not. You know what I mean? It's very simple. It's black or white.
All right, your memes got so popular that your memes were actually getting shared by celebrities. Can you remember the first meme you've done that got shared by a celebrity and who the celebrity was?
Originally, it was like the Fat Jewish was sharing a lot of my stuff, and I owe a lot to him for helping me get my account started. He bumped me up to like 300,000 before I even had a chance to think about what was going on. It was just growing so fast. But when The Rock reposted me, it was last year. It was around this time. It was like February. That was one of the craziest things that ever happened in my life, just because he's such a monstrous personality. He's so big. I think at the time he had like 55 or 60 million followers, and my account was going berserk. Like I was getting 50 followers every 30 seconds. It was just off the charts, and I kept refreshing and refreshing. And I was like, what's going on? And then I scrolled down, and I saw that he had reposted one of my memes. And that day, I put on, I think, like 20,000 followers overnight, basically like in a 24-hour period. And there's been a lot since then. I get a lot of love from, like John Mayer is a big fan of memes. He's a big fan of comedy. You know, the Fat Jewish, Snooki from the Jersey Shore is a fan. I see Chrissy Teigen liking my memes. Mario Lopez, Tony Hawk is a fan, and this is crazy because I grew up with these people. Tony Hawk was like a legitimate hero of mine when I was young because I used to skateboard. He was like the Michael Jordan of skateboarding. He changed it completely. So the fact that he's a fan of mine is it's such an interesting time for me to be alive because there's so many things coming full circle, and they're celebrities, but they're also they're nice people. You know what I mean? They like comedy just like anybody else.
All right, because I see you develop a relationship with Mario Lopez to where you actually got invited to Extra, and you also wrote a passage in his book.
No, he gave me an endorsement from my book. So okay. I have a book coming out next Monday, and he gave me a little blurb to put on the back. He's just a very supportive dude. I guess he's very confident in who he is. He's not trying to prove anything anymore. He's been famous for a really long time, and he's around the biggest stars in the game. He's on Ellen once every 2 weeks. He's just very high profile, but he's high profile. He's also one of the most down-to-earth people I've ever met. I'm not just saying that he's sick. I would say that if I met him at a party and I didn't know who he was. He was just a very engaging person. We were sitting there at lunch with me, him, and my wife, and he asking me, a ton of questions. He was just very interested. And when people take an interest in you, you tend to think, okay, this person is like, this person is, that's how you win people over, is by taking an interest in them. So I took an interest in him, he took an interest in me, and it's not like we're best friends, but there's definitely, there's love there between he and I, for sure.
All right, I have some people asking this question, so I got to ask it from the fans. Is there a financial gain, or is there money to be made creating memes, and if so, how?
Sure. So, it's not like YouTube where they pay you per view, which would be incredible. My views are very high, but you can either do paid posts for different products or apps or websites that want exposure on your page, but I stay away from those. So the way I'm trying to monetize is because I make most of my memes, maybe I create them from scratch. I feel like people have come to my page and they've developed a one-way relationship with me where they like the way my brain works. So if they like the way my brain works in meme form, maybe they'll like the way my brain works in my book. And the book is like a super important accomplishment in my life. So that's one thing. I have T-shirts with phrases from the book printed on them, like "Happy is the new rich" and "God is not a painkiller," and just other kind of thought-provoking, conversation-starting T-shirts. And then we also have an app coming out, which is in development right now. That's also very exciting. Everything is exciting right now.
All right.
I'm grateful and very fortunate for the people around me.
All right, now that was a great segue because you said "Happy is the New Rich," and that's the title of your forthcoming book, "Happy is the New Rich." Tell the people a little bit about it and when it's coming out.
So that book was written, it's coming out March 20th. So March 20th is one of those made-up internet holidays like National Sibling Day or something like that. But March 20th happens to be International Day of Happiness, which is the perfect day to launch the book because it's called Happiest and the Rich. But the book was written over the course of about 10 years where when I stopped drinking when I was 22, I had a very rough year that first year I stopped drinking. My cousin died, my best friend died, and my aunt died all within a year, all tragically. So it took me another year or two to get my head straight, to be able to think straight. And once that happened, I started realizing stuff that might be common sense to other people, but that's not what's in the book. What's in the book is when my brain really started clearing up, I started thinking, I struggle with relationships, I struggle with self-image, I struggle with self-esteem, I struggle with money, work ethic, love, friends, family, everything. I'm just another dude, but I put a lot of effort into figuring out how to get out of whatever funk I was in. And not only that, I remembered the steps that I took to get from point A to point B, because one of the worst things I think people do is they transform themselves and then they forget how they got from point A to point B. And not only that, once they get to point B, they look at people who are at point A where they once were and they judge them for not being advanced enough. And they don't put themselves out there to help that person who's in the exact same spot they were, 2, 5, 10 years ago. So that's my goal, is to try and take anybody who's struggling where I was struggling and say, hey, here's how I got over it. Here's the book. Hopefully it helps you. And that's like the main purpose of the book is just to serve anybody who's having a tough time in life.
All right. And where can people find the book, and where can people find you on social media where they can get down and laugh with those memes?
So they can get down and laugh. The best place is on Instagram. It's Tank Sinatra. It's tank.sinatra. Tank Sinatra was taken, but if you type Tank in, I'll come up right away. And then the book is going to be available on Amazon. But if they find me on social media, I'll definitely be posting a link to that when it's available. And if they don't remember to follow me on social media, they can just search Tank Sinatra on Amazon or Happiest and the Rich on Amazon.
All right. Has anyone ever requested you make them into a meme?
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time. Doesn't work out a lot of the time. Because people send a picture that they think is funny, and it's just the picture doesn't have the magic that you need to make it into a meme. There was one girl who sent me a picture of her dog who I made into a meme, and that actually got reposted by a bunch of other accounts. It got some momentum going, but it's hard to pinpoint what makes a picture good. It's either got it or it doesn't. It's hard to create that magic. You know what I mean?
So I gotta ask, what is the thought process? Is this something that you just spend large amounts of time during the day to do, or is it just something that just pops in there?
It just pops in there. I'll take a couple of minutes and thumb through some pictures, and either a caption pops into my head or it doesn't. And I definitely don't force it. So that's the other thing about comedy. You got to sit down and write, and then you got to rewrite, and then you got to rewrite. You got to keep honing your craft and keep going. The memes is just either I see a picture and I have a caption, or something happens in my everyday life, which is why it's important to go live. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people get involved in the internet and they forget to go have a life outside the internet. So eventually you stop having a life to draw experiences from, and then you're just stuck in the world of the internet. So I have a full life. I have a wife. I have kids. I have a job. I go to the gym. I have friends. So I'm always doing something, and if something happens during one of those exchanges and I think it'll make a good meme, I'll have that thought, and then I'll try and find the picture that matches. But it's one of those two, always.
All right. Well, Tank Sinatra, I definitely thank you for your time. Make sure you got some Irish descent, so I'm sure you're going to be doing a little celebrating come Friday. It's St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of made-up holidays, you know what today is, right?
That's today.
Today is Man's Valentine, Steak and BJ Day.
Oh, nice. So I should be expecting some gifts.
Well, I don't know if you told your wife about the holiday, but now would be a good time to send her a text or maybe create a meme. But today is Steak and BJ Day.
I'll let her know.
And Mr. Sinatra, thank you for your time. I'm definitely already. I started following you, and I like what I see. So I will be checking you out every day to put a smile on my face. Thank you for coming on the show, and enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Thanks, Lizzie. You too. Take it easy.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that
bye-bye.
was Mr. Tank Sinatra. Y'all make sure y'all follow him on social media. He will definitely put a smile on your face. The word is meme, not Mimi. It's meme, not Mimi. And today is March 14th. Fellas, enjoy your steak and BJ Day. It's your boy Vic XL, Ridin Durty Radio. This is my dude, J-Boy. And the name of this joint is Money Rules. I see y'all next show. We out.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
I'm gonna holler at y'all, man, in a few. Your boy Vic XL. Today is March 14th. Steak and BJ Day. Y'all make sure y'all go celebrate. If you don't believe me, Google it, fellas. Steak and BJ Day. Get you some.